Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to talk about some teams for the Trial of Origin. We're only going to take into account 1000 and above, because at that point you will be required to deploy 2 teams, and as we know, some elements really struggle to have 2 complete teams. So we're going to go through some examples, some ideas, and that's more or less it. Before we start, I wanted to mention that, as you can see here on the left, I have these teams that we're going to discuss on my website. So if you go in the team composition examples page, you will then have the possibility to filter for monocolor, and you will see only this. I also want to add some more filters, like a filter that lets you pick the units that you want included in the search, so that, I don't know, you have some specific DPS units, you can select them, and you will only see the compositions with those units inside. So I guess that would be pretty helpful, but I also need to add a lot more teams. They're nowhere near enough at the moment on the website. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. Let me know in the comments if you have any additional ideas that I could, I don't know, try to implement to improve this page. But yeah, just let me know. Enough about that. I think we can get started. I would say we can follow the order that is present here on the website, that is alphabetical. So we're going to start with blue. And for blue, this situation is a bit kind of strict, like you don't have really a lot of options. We have also Kaiser to account for if we want. So let's say you only have Revolution Bomb and Kaiser. You can make a team like giving up on Dawn, no problem. You could go Kaiser instead. Also, in that case, I would probably do team 1 for Bomb and swapping Kumashin with Yama as well. And then keep Alfin to support Kaiser, because we don't really have a lot of defensive support in this element, and Kaiser definitely needs it more than Bomb. So that's the logic there. But regardless of that, I don't think there are not many people with Kaiser maxed, probably. Maybe if we count the XSR plus, there might be a few more. But I think Dawn and Revolution Bomb maxed are way more common. That's why I decided to add them in the website. I might add also the variation with Kaiser. Let me know in the comments if you think it makes sense. But yeah, this is what I think makes the most sense for blue. Let me also share what I used. I think it's very similar. Yeah, I also added, okay, like BAM team is a bit overkill. Now we have double Kaiser, BAM, and Alfina Yama. Alfina Yama and BAM are also present in the lineup I wrote here. But instead of Lororo, I went with double Kaiser. Fine, this is just overkill. If you have access to it, fine. But as you can see, there is no real reason to do so. The deficit was not too high, but still, no real reason to do this kind of deployment. And for the other team is exactly what I like added here on the website. We have Garam, Hockney, Dawn, Datamashini, and then we also have Leroro as the flex spot, because I didn't use him in Revolution Bomb team, so I added him here. But there is not much he has to do there, so I think splitting it like I did here on the website is more than enough if you don't have access to Kaisers too. But yeah, blue is fairly easy. You just need Revolution Bomb and Dawn. Let's say you only have one of the two, so you only have one Rainbow 5 SSR plus DPS unit, then you might have an option with Quietra, but let me just pull up the units in blue. He could be decent. Where is he? This guy. Now, he could be decent. I used to use him a bit when he was buffed, when Revolution was released. It was good. If the deficit is not above 200, I would say you can try and go ahead and use him as the DPS. He is fine. But if you don't have like 2 SSR plus maxed out, chances are you don't have all SSR maxed out either. So you probably don't have Quacher to even try. Anybody else is kind of below average. Hatzling is worse than Quacher, I would say, as a DPS, so I wouldn't even consider him. And that's it. You literally have one of the 4 SSR plus DPS units, or you're kinda screwed. That's it. So that's all for blue. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them below. Now we can move to green, which is arguably the worst element that we have to make two teams out of. Because unfortunately, these stupid guys, okay, I don't know why I clicked on ranking, these stupid guys decided to release, where is that? I think it was this trial. A lot of times you will have to face, okay, this was not the case, but I think I used that because I was auto progressing, but you will face Xia on both teams a lot of times. And other than Princess of the Heart, the other team will have a crazy hard time dealing with Xia. And as you can see, I went for a super heavy, like expensive team. 5 SSR plus units maxed out. Calavan played a major role in this fight. I will say Yasracha as well, but not so much. And like as you can see, this team is all over the place, but it kind of worked. Without Calavan, I never managed to kill Xia unless there were some stupid unit like Amigo charts that made the life super easy for Chomrei. We also had Yuri on Bergamot in this case, so that she also could apply HP recovery block and energy recovery block. Without that as well, would have been quite tricky. I don't think I gave that to Yasracha, but also Yasracha could have done that if we wanted to. So those are some important things to keep in mind. There is nobody in green SSR that can do anything. So your only options are SSR plus units, and all of them are kind of garbage, excluding Anniversary Iwa and Princess of the Heart. Everything else is kind of meme. Also in the first team, as you can see in the website, I just placed Princess of the Heart and Hiwa. In this case, I added more units. There is no reason to it, to be honest. It's just making the team worse, but at this deficit, I didn't really care. Ren was doing an okay job. Also, Endorsi was not dying, so I still deployed all of them, but there is no reason to. Iwa plus Princess are going to be way, way better than a full team because everyone is just going to waste Iwa's passive stacks. You might go with a maxed out Adventurer Zahard if you have him, but even then, I might still argue that Princess of Zahard plus Anniversary Iwa is the better combo. Just those two. And for the second team, really, like we don't know. Like it's crazy how the red trials are. If you have access to all SSR plus units, yeah, you won't have any issues really. But there is no single unit that can carry this team. It's insanity. The fact that we have to face this unit makes it even worse. We won't have to face her, I think, up until 1350-ish trial. So up until then, you should be fine, even with less investment on this side. But green is really in a bad spot. Hopefully, they can release some better units in the near future, but we'll see. For now, it's garbage, and I don't think there is any reason to keep talking about that. Now we have purple. Purple, fortunately, is the easiest one to build for. You can use basically only SSR units and you're good. There is one SSR plus requirement, and it can be anybody. It can be Heljo, it can be White, it can be Datamashini. If you have two of those, then you already have two teams. There is nothing to worry about. Let me also see what I deployed, because I think I trolled a bit more because I have access to all units, so I just did some weird shit. But here we have Mashani, Heljo, we have a grouping unit here, and we have also these two supports with the highest link for some reason. But literally, purple is no issue. You just auto it and you're fine. The teams that I added here on the website are pretty simple and straightforward. We have the typical white team. Instead of going for access survivability with Yura, we went with Nare, still good enough for survivability. And Yura is definitely needed with Vivi to give her attack speed and some more survivability for this team that is a bit worse off. So I think this balance is decent. We could make maybe team 2 a bit better somehow, but I think overall this distribution should kind of work. And yeah, for purple is simple and straightforward, super cheap. Not many people will have issues with that. Then we have red. Red is also in a very weird position because the best DPS of this element is countered heavily in the trial. We're going to face Let me see if I can find a fight with him. I don't remember. I'm only looking at the like every 5 stages because they normally add the more annoying units there. And yeah, exactly. I was looking for Urek, and like Gustang has a crazy hard time dealing with Urek. It is made easier with Elite Spy, Shia Shia, and Spear Baranak, but it is still quite annoying. If you don't have those two, then your Gustan will have a like, impossible time against Urek. Maybe 100 deficit it can still manage. Anything above that is going to be really, really hard. So yeah, this is just a random team I'm using with Gustang. I added Anak instead of one of these two, and also Kasano instead of Elite Spy Shia Shia. It works with just that. It should be fine, but it's kind of up to you to add the flex slot someone that can actually help in countering Urek. That's your main goal. If your Gustan cannot kill Urek, you're done. And in the second team, we're also kind of fucked because we have to deal with a potential second Urek. The only good DPS unit that we have would be Beta. Ejin could work if the deficit doesn't get too high, and if you decide to link Albelda to him, then Ejin is an option, but he's a collab unit. Not many people will have him. Viol could be an option as well if you link Albelda to him, and maybe after they buff L or Sundance or some other sets, maybe Viol could become even stronger. Cherry could be an option, but you cannot really group reliably in red, so you wouldn't be able to group enemies up and deal a lot of max HP damage. So tricky, but definitely okay as a sub DPS. And who else? We have Evankel. Evankel full damage with Mamanak potentially can do well, but I don't know, not that big of a fan. Jinsung also kind of meh. Like if we are below 300 deficit, you have a few more options, and Albelda definitely helps. Please do not use Albelda with Gusten. That's really not necessary. Use Albelda with the second DPS and try to use somebody that can actually kill Urek. Beta can. Evankel should also be able to without too many issues. And well, Viol should also be able to. Jinsung, kinda tricky. Who else do we have? I think in the SSR, we don't really have a lot. We have a Croptor. That could be acceptable if you don't have any other SSR plus option, then a Croptor could be one. And that's it, really. Like Cherry and a Croptor, those are the only two SSR units that could deal some damage. I wouldn't like over rely on either of them because they both struggle at dealing with Urek. But yeah, these are just some of the options you have. It's really not that good, but okay. Then we have yellow, that is the last one. So let's go back to the trial. And here in yellow, we have Yugo Irang as an option. They are going to do perfectly fine. I don't even know if it makes sense to show my composition because it's super overkill, but okay. So Yugo Irang is going to be enough. Irang is going to group them up, and Yugo is going to melt them. No issues. You're going to be held back by the other team, more likely, than you are going to be held back by the Yugo team. Or you could just run Yugo on her own, and she's going to be fine, no problems. Team 2, here I added Bam, Evan, Hatz, and Kunedan. Hatz is just a frontline unit to buy some time. Evan is there for the invincibility. Bam, I don't know why I didn't give him Rainbow 5. I have to fix it, but he definitely kind of wants the Rainbow 5 as well, and you will already have it, so it's not a problem. And Kun Addon as the DPS. Now, an improved version could be the one I'm using here in this matchup. Even though, as you can see, this fight is super low deficit. We also had Gustang against us, so it was carried by Irang. But normally, Addon will be the carry of the team. We just need survivability. I also added Ice Spear Kunagero. If you have him, is obviously a great pick, just for some additional CC and HP recovery block and energy decrease. But yeah, a very simple team. The other one is crazy overkill, but it hardly matters. We have Hugo, one-shotting everyone. We have also Kronos Yuri for the HP recovery block and for a very massive initial hit that at this deficit, as you can see, is a good portion of the team's damage. And Augustus, yeah, is there, but I mean, enemies are dead super quickly. Is not even going to have time to do anything. So it's crazy. Literally, this team is overkill. Don't look at it. Just Hugo's alone is enough. And yeah, there is really not much else to say. If you don't have any other options, guys, remember that you always have units like Gosang. Let me go and pull up the yellow units that we have in the game. So, okay, now we have even more options, like with Sharon, you can do some more stuff. But I mean, yellow is in a very good spot. You can easily put together two teams. Many people will try to go for Yugo in nonstop in anniversary, and that's really a good pick. And most people will have an add-on that is usable for the second team, so yellow is pretty well off. And if you really have to resort to SSR units, we have Wang Nanja, which is super good if paired with Hirang. So really good also SSR options. Iwa could also do something if the deficit is not too high, but yeah, Wang Nang would be more reliable from my point of view. And if you really have nobody else, don't forget about Gosang. She provides a really good buff for the whole team, attack speed and crit rate for everybody. It's going to last for like 15 seconds, I think, or is it 10? 10 seconds. Okay, it's kind of trash, but whatever. And for 10 seconds, it's going to give attack speed to everybody, which is pretty good at generating more energy. And don't forget about her. She could always come in handy. And other units, literally yellow has so many good options, guys. Just, I don't know, use what you have is not going to be an issue. I think purple and yellow are good for making two teams. Red, tricky. Blue is probably in the third best spot. Green is the worst one. Red is slightly better. It's insane how the two teams that have an EX unit are like worse off than the rest. And purple that has only 5 SSR plus units is so well off at making two teams. That's really insane. But yeah, if I had to rank them, I would say yellow is by far the easiest if you have like 2 SSR plus units, and there are plenty to choose from. So most of them would work. That's insane. Purple is second, blue is third, red is fourth, and the last one is green. That's how I would rank them in terms of how easy they are to complete. But okay, let me know if this kind of video was helpful for you. I'm planning to make also the underground laboratory boss battle guide or something on my website, and I will probably cover that in 1 week or so, something like that. Let me know if that would be helpful for you guys as well. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.